Okay, so we have another situation, and this situation is actually one that's very common to all our parents. So this elderly 72-year-old male has been divorced from his partner for about 24 years. He has just one living child, and that's his daughter. His daughter is married, and she lives in another state with her partner. And so this man, I'm just going to call him John. John has been pretty depressed over time because he's lonely. His daughter is in another state. She's married. Initially, his daughter was living in the same state with him, but her husband got a job somewhere else, so she had to move. So over time, John has become very lonely. He's been refusing to go to his doctor's appointments because he just feels like it depresses him some more due to the news that he's been getting. He's not excited. He also feels like when he tries to talk to his daughter, the conversations are very nice, but there's just so much he wants to tell her about his situation, but he doesn't want to bore her because he wants to just simply enjoy the conversation when he's talking to his daughter. So John has been feeling very dizzy. He's been very exhausted. He's also not been able to keep up with his bills. He receives Social Security disability, and he feels like what he's been receiving is not enough to cover his basic needs. But John is aware of where to find other resources to help him. So John has basically been living from month to month, surviving as he can. Again, not telling his daughter stuff because he didn't want to just stress her. He just wanted to enjoy the moment he has with his daughter. So there are days where John had literally starved because he did not have enough food. When his daughter would ask him, is everything okay? He would say, yes, everything is fine. John was not hanging out with people because he was just always depressed, and nobody came to check on John. And again, John just did not go to his appointments. So John just lived like that and lived like that. Eventually, he lived this way for about 1.5 years. And one day his daughter just decided, I'm going to go over to where my dad is and just say hello to him for his birthday so he can actually get to see me. And when John's daughter, I'm just going to call her Sarah, comes home and she knocks on the door and her dad opens the door, she did not recognize her father. Her father, who is an elderly 70-something-year-old man who used to weigh about 250 pounds, was one who barely weighed 120 pounds at almost 5'10". He was that skinny. She did not recognize her father. He had on torn clothes, and he was surprised to see her. She said he was smelling really bad, and when she walked into the door, she could not even stay in the home because of the smell and the stench that came in from the door. And then to make it worse, and this I'm choking up saying this right now, she said the house was just filled up with dirt everywhere. Like you could see roaches, you could see mice, you could see termites, you could see anything that you could think of. He had rotten food on the stove, and the trash was full. There were bags of trash everywhere. He just was living a mess. And his daughter Sarah just broke down crying and was like, Dad, why didn't you tell me? And he said, I just didn't want to burden you because you have your family, and I just didn't want to burden you. This is another situation where, again, Heart Foundation comes in because elderly people need help. And sometimes the lives that we've lived in our youth somehow catches up with us. Not because we want it to catch up with us in a bad way, but it just does. And in his situation, he had a family. It just happened that he and his wife got divorced, and he ended up alone by himself, which, again, you can't control if you do end up alone or not end up alone. He just needed support. Where would Heart Foundation have come in this situation? In this situation, in keeping in touch with Mr. John, we would probably have known from his voice that he was depressed. We would have asked him questions about, has he been able to feed? Is he feeding? Is he doing okay? And if we found out that John did not seem okay, we would reach out to Sarah. While we're waiting for Sarah to come in from out of state where she is, we'll probably connect with Sarah if we can look for someone who is close by that can go and actually check on John and give us, an update of how John is doing. And sometimes we would probably even request to have a video call with John just to make sure that we see clearly how John is. And also, we can also call the authorities and be like, authorities, this is what is going on. Can you please go do a wellness check on John? So there's just so many ways that Heart Foundation can step in and support in ways that your family does need you, and you're not able to be there because you love them, is the reason why you're reaching out to Heart Foundation. We love you as our elderly. You've put in so much for us. Let us take care of you.